Welcome to City Insider. In today's video, I'll take a look at the latest Manchester City FC news. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss my latest videos. Newcastle are first in line to sign superb £42 million player if Man City decide to sell him. It has been reported that in the event that Manchester City choose to sell Kalvin Phillips, Newcastle United will ramp up their pursuit to sign him. This comes from the Telegraph, as the £42 million, the Athletic, man's future at the Etihad Stadium remains uncertain. As a result, Newcastle United could now pounce at the chance of signing Kalvin Phillips, if Manchester City decide to offload him. While Phillips would be delighted to call himself a treble winner, he would be equally gutted about starting a mere 2 Premier League games last season, due to injury and a failure to push Rodri for first-team minutes. Now, it has been reported that Newcastle are keeping a close watch on Kalvin Phillips' situation and are likely to swoop in for his signature if Manchester City decide to sell him later this summer. To add to that, as has been the case with several fresh faces at the club, it takes a season for them to get to grips with Pep Guardiola's system before redeeming themselves in the following campaign. Persistent injuries, in particular, may have derailed the former Leeds midfielder's fitness, aside from a lack of starts, which is a reason why he has not looked at his sharpest in his few appearances at the club so far. Josko Gvardiol wants Man City transfer, RB Leipzig chief confirms amid £86 million talks. Manchester City target Josko Gvardiol has asked RB Leipzig to be sold to the treble winners, the German club sporting director has confirmed. Talks are ongoing between the two teams over an £86 million deal, which would eclipse Harry Maguire's £80 million move to Manchester United in 2019 as a world record fee for a defender. Josko and his advisors have submitted their wish to us for a transfer to Manchester City, Eberl told Leipziger Volksnachrichten newspaper. We are in talks with City. There is nothing more to say about it at this moment. Leipzig have cashed in on a number of their top players this summer. Dominik Szoboszlai completed a £60 million move to Liverpool on the weekend after Christopher Nkunku joined Chelsea for £52 million. Bayern Munich have also landed defender Konrad Laimer on a pre-contract agreement. I can understand the disappointment and concern of the fans, Eberl said. No club and no coach in this world wants to lose players of this caliber, but we have been prepared for this and I can promise that we will have once more a good and exciting team. Bayern Munichs Thomas Tuchel considers Manchester City's Kyle Walker perfect for new backline. According to a report by Fabrizio Romano for Court Offside, Bayern Munich manager Thomas Tuchel is the driving force behind the club's interest in Manchester City defender Kyle Walker, and Tuchel also thinks the 33-year-old is the perfect player for his new look backline. I think this is also going to be a crucial week for Kyle Walker, Romano wrote in his column. Manchester City are insisting to extend his contract. They have submitted a proposal to Kyle but are still waiting for his answer. I'm told Thomas Tuchel has also been pushing to bring Kyle to Bayern during the weekend. He considers Walker as a perfect player for Bayern's system and technical project. This week is expected to be the time for a new round of talks with both, and then a decision. Manchester City wants to keep Walker, though, and the club will not let him go away easily. Walker joins Declan Rice and Harry Kane as established English players, whom Bayern Munich has pursued over the last month. However, each of those Englishmen has some sort of challenge to getting a deal done. Rice will sign with Arsenal FC any minute now, and Kane's exit from Tottenham Hotspur could be very challenging. Even Walker, at 33 years old, could prove to be too difficult of a transfer for the Bavarians to pull off. Manchester City negotiating with Atletico Madrid over €30 million winger. Negotiations are underway between Manchester City and Atletico Madrid over attacking talent Rodrigo Requel. According to a new report, the Premier League champions are understood to be open to the idea of signing a new attacking player this summer, should the right market opportunity arise for Etihad Stadium transfer bosses in the coming weeks. The prospect of a new wide forward joining Manchester City this summer accompanies the hunt for RB Leipzig's Josko Gvardiol, as well as a new central midfielder after the signing of Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea earlier this month. That search for a forward has now taken them to Spain, and to two clubs whom Manchester City officials will be very familiar with for various reasons. A new report has suggested that last season's treble winners are interested in a 23-year-old Spanish forward who spent the last campaign on loan at Girona. That is according to journalist Angel Garcia, who reports that Manchester City want to sign Atletico Madrid winger Rodrigo Requelme, offering €15 million as part of the opening run of negotiations involving the two parties. However, it is claimed that the La Liga club have referred to the player's €30 million release clause in their response, with further negotiations involving Manchester City expected over the coming weeks ahead. And that's the final content of today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.